Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Wilson. I'm the Executive Director of Arizona NORML, and with me today I've got Mike Robinette, who is the Chapter Secretary, as well as the Southern Arizona NORML Executive Director. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Ryan. How you doing today?
Doing good. Actually, the reason for this broadcast, and thank you for joining, is because I'd like to highlight, someone who is actually dedicated a lot of their time, towards, this initiative here. And got a chance to work with Michael Weiser, and actually you work with a lot of our volunteers as well, but no one really gets to recognize you. And I'd like to ask you a couple questions here, Mike.
Sure.
Thank you for all your effort and your hard work and the time that you've dedicated to this. What brought you in?
Ryan, from one director to another.
Thank you. What brought you into NORML here in the first place? What got you going?
I got a story about that. It's funny you asked. Believe it or not, back when I was younger in the early 80s, I was a dues-paying member of NORML. But at that time, I thought, well, this is never going to happen, legalization. And so fast forward another 30 years, and I recall I was in Colorado, visiting Colorado in January of 2018, and that's when Jeff Sessions decided, we were all waiting for it to happen, when Jeff Sessions decided to revoke the Cole and Ogden memos, the Cole memo, which basically protected rec states, and then the Ogden memo, which was the similar memo protecting medical marijuana. And I had had enough at that point. And what I did is I thought, well, I'm going to engage my congressman. And so I actually made a call to National NORML, and not knowing anything, I'm not a volunteer yet. I'm going to call National NORML and talk to him. So I called National NORML to try to get some points about, or where can I find points to engage a congressman relative to Jeff Sessions' sort of insanity that was happening. And when I phoned, Keith Stropp, the founder of NORML, answered the call. Keith Stropp with NORML, like, are you kidding me? Like, I had this weird image. They got him locked up in a broom closet somewhere with a landline, just answering the phone. Keith, you go over there. And he's a great guy. He's a great guy indeed. He founded NORML in 1970, but it was like, wow. But what he did is he immediately put me in touch with Michael Weiser, because he had that contact relative to the state chapter. And in February of that year, February 2018, I drove up to the Phoenix meeting for the first time, and haven't really looked back since that first meeting. I think I've only missed one chapter meeting in Phoenix through my tenure. It's always been a good time, and unfortunately with COVID now, we're not able to do those live at this point, but it's always been good to come up and do those meetings. But when I first got started, Ryan, as a volunteer, I really wasn't volunteer. I just was going to meetings until an opportunity presented itself. And that was with the 2018 candidate guide, where Michael had asked me, hey, could you help out doing a little research on candidates? And I jumped at the chance. I was like, finally, I'm in. I get to volunteer. And that was my first foray into actually volunteering with NORML.
Awesome. And that's a wonderful story. And I think actually a lot of the board has a similar story to, that type of an experience, right? Maybe not, as absolutely awesome as, calling up National and talking to Keith.
That's like not what you're thinking. I didn't have an idea, I thought it'd be a receptionist. Hold on, let me put you, but it was just Keith answering the phone, and he was so gracious and so cool to talk to. It was really a rewarding experience. And what happened to it, when I went to National last year to the convention in the lobby day, I did pull Keith aside and tell him that story. I said, Keith, I'm now a director of a chapter, but you're the guy I first talked to. And it was kind of a cool thing to relay that to him.
That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, the majority of the organizations out there that are related to NORML are all volunteer driven, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, so it's
we're directors and we're volunteers. So I consider we're all volunteers in this organization, and we need to role model volunteers. If I ask someone, can you phone bank, I better be phone banking as well to show that, I'll do it as well. So I consider us all to be volunteers. Some of us just happen to have titles as volunteers.
Well, thank you again. I mean, the work that you're doing here, is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you've been working with, the volunteers doing the phone banking, right? And you've been doing other things too, community outreach type stuff. Well, I mean, what about the work with the highway too, right?
I mean, don't even get started on the highway cleaning. Exactly. Yeah, we thought when we first established Southern Arizona NORML, one thing I'm really happy about is we had that conversation early on, is how can we give back to our community? Because while it is about reforming marijuana laws, I think if we do that in isolation or in a vacuum, I don't think we can achieve our goals as easily as opposed to being really out in the community and demonstrating our support of the community. And so we're really happy we were able to adopt a highway. It's not really a highway. It's Campbell Avenue in Tucson, and it's a major thoroughfare in Tucson. And we clean that on the second Saturday of each month, and that is strictly volunteer driven. And I can even now thank the volunteers. We had some great volunteers show up on just Saturday of this last week. And we hammered out another cleaning, and it's volunteer driven, and it's, for us, it's actually a fun event because it takes about 2 hours, and it's just enough time to get out, have a great time before you're like, do I have to clean another hour? So it's really timed out perfectly, and so we're really happy with our highway cleaning and giving back to Tucson.
That's cool. So you guys do that on a regular basis as well, don't
We
you?
do it second Saturday of every month. It's a monthly cleaning. Just to give it enough time to let the cigarettes accumulate and the trash, and then we clean it all up.
Have something for you guys to do. Yeah, I got to keep you busy.
Exactly, right. And we get a lot of honks when we're cleaning the highway. So we don't know if they think we feel sorry for you that you're doing community service because of your crimes, or thank you for, we're not sure what they think, but we have our reflective vests on for full effect.
So in this case, the advocates are not, there because they're being forced to, clean the highway, right? They're actually doing this because they enjoy giving back to the community. Yes.
I don't show up in the cloak of darkness at their homes knocking, going, "You will be joining us tomorrow." No, it's funny. Most people love to make it, love to, and they're sort of regretful when they can't make it. So no, it is not a, pulling them along, screaming and shouting. They show up. And they're always enthusiastic, ready to go. So it's always a great experience.
That's great. I can't wait to, to see the pictures from the last one too. And if you've got some you'd like to share, on the social media pages, I'm sure people would like to see like you guys out there and having fun.
We just posted a few. We didn't get as many in this last cleaning, but we did put it out on our social media. So.
Yeah. Now we do have some volunteer opportunities, for Arizona NORML and Southern Arizona NORML coming up. What are those, Mike?
I'll tell you what, the biggest one right now, Ryan, the one area that volunteers between, we're about, really, actually today, we're 3 weeks away from election. And the biggest place where volunteers can make a big impact with very little effort is through our phone banking. And we have that set up for every Thursday and Saturday. It's organized through National NORML, as you know. And it's just a really great way. What I've enjoyed doing this, I've been doing phone banks for Pebble and permanent early voting with 207 earlier, but now we've shifted gears, and now we're really just getting out the vote. So what I found in doing these phone banks currently, I'm able to have a lot more conversations with people. And when we get people who are undecided, we actually have some freedom in that call to maybe kind of pick their brain a little bit. Well, what makes you undecided? Maybe I can help to get you, to a point where you might consider voting yes. So great way for volunteers to really make a big difference quickly is through our phone banks. Again, Thursday and Saturday, Thursday from 4:45 p.m. to 7, and then on Saturday from 10:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're going to do those phone banks consistently Thursdays and Saturdays until the election. And
now, is a quick question for you. Is it one of those things where you have to be make sure that you're available for the entire time? Because that sounds like a lot of time to be sitting there on the phone. Right.
That's a really good question, Ryan. You do not. Like, for example, what I say when I promote it down here, I just say we don't need, any time you have to give is more than no time. And so if you want to hop on and just do a quick hour. What's really good about once you have the virtual phone bank application or the app is you're not shackled to those 2 times. You can, if let's say it's Thursday morning and you have an hour, and you can just pull up the app, type it, sign into it and make calls at any time you want. In fact, I had a volunteer reach out to me over the weekend and say, "Hey, can I make some calls on Sunday?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So yeah, once you have the app, which we will provide to anyone who's going to be doing the phone bank when they step into the organizational Zoom meeting prior to our making calls, we will give them that app. And once they have that app, they can then make calls. It doesn't have to be only Thursday, Saturday. And it doesn't have to be for 2 hours on Thursday, Saturday. So we like to give volunteers as much flexibility with that.
That's great. So there is flexibility. There's opportunity there to work at, outside of those normal hours. But it sounds like that's where we've got a big push to actually come together during those hours, right? And actually make as much of a difference and an impact as possible.
And I will tell you what I do enjoy more about these phone banks than earlier is with Justin Streckel, our guy, national guy, our national lobbyist. He's actually keeping the Zoom call open. So there's almost like you're actually sort of in a real phone bank where you're sitting with people, because you can look at the Zoom call and see other people making calls, and we can kind of have a chat. Hey, I just got 2 people. So it kind of gives that feeling that we're all in this together via the Zoom call, so that you feel like you don't feel like it's just you making calls. You see other people doing the same thing, and that's really inspiring.
That's awesome. That's great to hear it. Thank you, Mike, for outlining one of the volunteer efforts that we've got on our table right now. If you are interested in volunteering, we've got a form on our website. If you go to aznormal.org/volunteer, you'll be able to, get signed up, and we'll definitely be, reaching out to you guys, as we get more of these opportunities coming along. Besides that, thank you again, Mike, for everything that you do. All the help and the effort, the energy that you put in, and we might have lost you there. And so that looks like a perfect time for us to end the broadcast. Thank you again, Mike.
Thank you, Ryan.
Bye now.
Thank you. Take care.